The full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th. I think I'm gonna title this video STFU, Shut the F Up. I'm not gonna say it on YouTube. Let's dive in and find out why I'm gonna title this video STFU. STFU, Shut the F Up. Hello YouTube fam, welcome to Athena Virtuous channel and another episode of astrology and a little bit of tarot and oracle. In this video, I'm not only gonna touch up on the full moon in Aquarius, but I'm gonna talk about also the triple conjunction that's happening in Cancer and how it's gonna affect each one of you. Take note that this video is going to be a little long, maybe a lot longer. I'm gonna try to break it down to the sign and its opposite. For example, I will do like Aries and Libra together, Cancer and Capricorn, Gemini and Sagittarius, and so on and so forth. It's very imperative to watch your sun, rising, and moon. And if you have North Node in any sign, you need to watch that sign. If you have a stellium in a specific sign, you also need to watch that sign, just for the sake of clarity and understanding how is this, especially the triple conjunction of Jupiter, Venus, and the fixed star series going to affect you. Okay? So, as I said in the beginning of the video, I most likely am going to title this video STFU. Why I'm saying that? Because I do astrology, right? So I get lots of videos related to astrology in my newsfeed. And lots of them, they're talking about this full moon in Aquarius. And lots of them, they're just rhetoric, really rhetoric. Just literally BS. I'm looking at the full moon in Aquarius and lots of so-called astrologers, they're titling their videos the worst day of the year or the worst week of the year, expect the unexpected, warnings, and so on and so forth. There is just so much BS. And I feel that the people, they just want to say STFU, enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of this manipulation, this information. I'm sick and tired of the gaslighting and the drama that's going on the social media, the corrupt system, the corruption in the court system, for example, and the corruption in the government, and all of the BS going on everywhere. I feel like the people are tired. People are energetically drained of this negative energy. People are tired of the so-called astrologers and psychic projecting their negative energy on you, the viewer. Especially and you know what guys, I blame it primarily on you, because you don't just stick to one channel or one astrologer or one whatever you want to call it, psychic, and watch them. You watch everybody. So technically, whatever their energy is, because you gotta understand, these people who upload on YouTube, they upload like 4 or 5 videos, 10 videos, some of them 12 videos a day, you know, and they're just non-stop. Why they're doing that? They're doing that for the sake of views, for the sake of making money on YouTube. And that's how the algorithm works. You get more views, more subscribers by posting on YouTube constantly. We don't know what kind of energy they're dealing with or what's their energy. They could be going through shit in their life and they're projecting that on you. Authentic psychic cannot, no way. An authentic psychic, like there's no way an authentic psychic would be able to upload on YouTube constantly like this, because they need to protect their energy from these astral parasites from these energy vampire. Okay, like for example, I can't post every day. I just can't. And maybe that's why you see me just break down my videos to short so you can see them if you didn't get a chance to. But I can't film every day because we deal with different and multitude of energies around us. We deal with different issues and different matters in our personal life. I need to rest. I need to protect my energy. You know? So I can't do that on daily basis. I just can't, and I will never do it. Okay? Besides, all of these so-called astrologers and psychic, they just copy and paste from one another. And sometimes they record videos a month ahead of the actual event. So they can't pick up on the actual energy at that time. And you as a viewer, first of all, you gotta understand, energy is fluid, okay? It's not stagnant. And you have free will. You have the willpower to change your manifestation, to change your energy, to change your decision, your choices. And that's why when you listen to multiple channels, several of them, and you're just flip-flopping, technically you are doing it as a viewer, okay? Once again, you're attracting their negative energy to you. And you don't know what you're going to pick up on, okay? So this is a warning for you as a viewer. But on the other hand, you also feel like, I'm sick and tired of all this drama. I'm sick and tired of all of this BF. Like literally one astrologer, he has like, I don't know, 200 viewers. And that particular video had like, I don't know, 30,000 views. The title of the video is the worst week of the year. Like, why you're scaring the public? Why are you spreading this fear-mongering? Or like, you're fear-mongering people. Enough is enough, okay? It's a full moon in Aquarius, and you gotta understand, there are several things that I wanna actually bring it to your attention here, okay? It's a full moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius, first of all, you need to understand what's Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, okay? And Aquarius is detached. All air signs usually are detached from their emotions, okay? So one thing we're gonna notice with this full moon in Aquarius, detachment. The other thing is, this full moon in Aquarius is actually ruled by Uranus, which is right now in Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde in Leo. So when you listen, and if you want to understand how this full moon going to affect us, you gotta have to take into account all of these energies. In other words, the full moon is ruled by Uranus. Uranus, once again, is about detachment, is about awakening, is about something sudden, something unpredictable. That's true. But who rules Uranus? Uranus, when I say who rules Uranus, we need to see where Uranus is right now. And I mentioned that in my previous video, and I said, Uranus, for the next 7 days, is under the rulership of Mercury, okay? So we have to be vigilant and watching out of Mercury, whether it's forward or retrograde, for the next 7 years. And I'm sorry if I said days, I meant 7 years. Okay, we need to know where is Mercury, in which house, and whether it's forward or retrograde. Because Uranus, even though Uranus in reality is the higher octave of Mercury, but still it's under the rulership of Mercury. So that's number one, okay, or number two, technically, okay? And Mercury is, everything is fast. Uranus is triple the speed, okay? So everything is going to be fast-paced. Everything is under the energy of the air. all right? Detachment, awakening, sudden. And on top of that, everything is related to our intellectual ability, because that's both Uranus and Mercury are related to our intellectual abilities, our mindset, okay? The messages, and remember, Mercury is the messenger of God. So how are we connected to our higher self, to the higher power, and the messages and the intuitions we get from the divine, all right? So these are very important things that you need to pay attention to. And on top of that, it's a full moon. And the full moon here in Aquarius is under the rulership of Uranus, as I said. But also the full moon deals with deep intuition, with your psychic abilities. Once again, how are you connected to the depth of the cosmos? So, in this full moon configuration, we have 3 planets involved. We have Uranus, the moon, and Mercury. What does that mean? That means the fate factor or the destiny factor is in play here. So anything happens around this time, and when I say around this time, I mean it doesn't have to be on the exact day of the full moon. It could be at least 4 days, 4 or 5 days prior, at least, to the full moon. So we've already experienced it. And by the way, guys, if I didn't say, I'm recording this video on August the 8th, on what people call it the Lion's Gate or the 888 portal, which doesn't make any sense to me, okay? Because we're literally, yes, it's August 8th, but where's the third 8 coming from? We're in the year number 9, okay? So anyways, I don't want to talk about this nonsense, but I just want to focus on this full moon in Aquarius, which is technically is happening the exact full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th, okay? As you see in the chart here, oh, I haven't even shared the chart. So give me 1 second. Let me share the chart here with you. So as you see in the chart here, I'm pointing to the full moon in Aquarius at 16 degrees and 59 minutes. And I have mentioned in my previous video, in the degree theory, I'm not talking about the sapient symbol, so I don't want you to be confused now, okay? I'm talking about the degree theory. Degree number 16 is ruled by Cancer. It's a Cancer degree, okay? And it's all related to security, to sanctuary, to the roots, to the home, okay? And obviously the full moon is, the moon is in Aquarius and the sun is in the opposite sign of Aquarius, which is Leo, as you see here, all right? A couple of days later, we will have this full conjunction. Sorry, not full conjunction. Anyways, I'm talking about this triple conjunction that's happening in Cancer, which is going to be at 14 degrees in Cancer. You see here, this is the chart or the transit chart of the full moon, okay? And we see here that Venus is approaching Jupiter. Venus, as we speak now, is at 10 degrees Cancer, and Jupiter is at 13 degrees Cancer, 1327, okay? But Venus in her journey to conjoin with Jupiter. And as I have showed you in another chart, just give me 1 second. Okay, so let me just clean the mess here. That's why I don't want to use my virtual pen, because every time I have to clean the mess, wipe it out, so we have a clear picture of what's going on in the sky. Okay, so we see here both Jupiter and Venus, and I spoke about it in the previous video. If you don't watch it, please go back and see it, but I'm just gonna touch base on it here. We have Jupiter and Venus at 14 degree and 3 minutes, and as I mentioned before, the 14 degree is under the rulership, or it's the Taurus degree, okay, which is ruled by Venus. But what makes this a triple conjunction? It is a triple conjunction because, as you see here, Venus and Jupiter conjoin at the degree 14 degree and 3 minutes, but on top of that, we have the fixed star series at 14 degree and 26 minutes. And just so that you know, fixed stars move 1 degree every about 80 years or so, and that's why they're called fixed stars. Okay? Sirius been in Cancer for many years. Okay? I didn't even count how many years, to be perfectly. I didn't check. Okay? I didn't count. But it moves 1 degree every 80 years, and I'm pretty sure none of you is 80 years of age watching me. Okay, so the majority of you, if you are Cancer, and I mentioned that before, you were born with Sirius in Cancer, if you are Cancerian Sun or Rising. Okay, now on the other hand is that, remember that a fixed star moves 1 degree every 80 years or so. Okay. The other thing is I wanted to be aware of is the exaltation degree of Jupiter. It's a 15 degree Cancer. That's the exaltation degree. Now there are other astrologers, they claim it's degree 5, okay, or it's 5 degrees Cancer. I don't care. To be perfectly honest, I don't care whether it's 5 degree Cancer or 15 degree. My point here is, regardless, Jupiter exalted in Cancer, regardless. Jupiter exalted in Cancer regardless of the exaltation degree, but there are so many astrologers agree that the exaltation degree of Jupiter in Cancer is degree 15. So which means it's conjunction. It conjunct with Jupiter exaltation degree in Cancer. Okay, and this is very important. So the whole point of talking about this is that I'm focusing on this video, okay, on the full moon in Aquarius, which is going to be 16 degree, which is Cancer degree, okay, and also I'm focusing on the conjunction, this triple conjunction that's happening in Cancer. Okay, so let me go back to the chart of, or the transit chart of the full moon in Aquarius. Okay, and let's just focus on this. And by the way, guys, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this video is going to be long because I'll be touching on all zodiac signs, but I'm gonna do them in pairs. So it's the sign and its opposite together, so you have good understanding of how this is gonna affect your house or your rising sign or your sun sign and your opposite sign, okay, or the 7th house, which is going to be affect each one of us. Okay. Okay, so this is the full moon once again at 16 degree, and this is Jupiter and Venus in Cancer, and we have the sun here in Leo, and we also have Mercury retrograde. Okay, during around the full moon, because once again this is the full moon transit chart, Mercury is still retrograde, but is going to station direct on the 11th of August. Okay, but as you see in the chart here, it's retrograde at 4 degree. Once again, it's a Cancer degree. Even when it's station direct, it's going to station direct at this degree. Okay? So pay attention to that, because once again, there's emphasis here on Cancer, and that's why I made a very long video, which was, I guess, the last video about the Cancer, about Cancer, because I want you to understand how is this going to affect the Cancer placement in your chart. Okay? So, as I said at the very beginning, this full moon it's a moon, so fate, destiny, and Uranus, divine intervention, which is something unpredictable, something we were not aware of, something we're not prepared for, and it's going to happen because it's fated. Okay? But once again, it doesn't have to necessarily happen on the day of the full moon, which is the 9th. It most likely happened to many of you. Okay? At least 4 or 5 days. And I can share with you what happened to me, and it was unpredictable, unexpected. Okay? Was it terrible? Not necessarily. It wasn't terrible, but it was unexpected. Something I did not expect to happen to me. And I can share briefly what happened to me a few days ago. I was driving on the road, and this never happened to me before. Something similar, and I'll tell you what it is, happened to me last year when we've had Uranus in Taurus, and we've had full moon in Taurus. But let me talk about what happened to me now. Okay? Not now, but 4 or 5 days ago. Okay? I was driving, and I was on the road, and I've had a flat tire. Maybe you're gonna think, oh, that's not a big deal. Well, it's not big deal. It's not terrible. It's not the worst day of my life or of 2025, you know, but I've never had that experience before. I've never had a flat tire. Believe it or not, guys. I've been driving since I was 17 years old. Never had big fat zero accident. Never had any accident. Okay? Never had any flat tire. Personally, never on the road. I was driving a rental car, which is a brand new vehicle, 2025 model. I'm not going to talk about the specifics. And I was driving literally slow because I'm going with the flow. Okay? Probably 45, 50 kilometers an hour. Okay? Literally slow. But I had signs before I had the flat tire. The signs I had, or the red flags, is that my GPS is connected to, I'm using Apple CarPlay, right? And it's connected to my iPhone. And it kept disconnecting me. Because as you know, and I mentioned that before, I'm new here in this city. It's in Canada. It's different province. I'm not in Ontario. I lived all my life in Ontario, but here I'm new, so I can't drive without the GPS, you know? And it kept disconnected while I'm driving. So these are multiple signs happened to me before I had that flat tire. And you would think, what does this have to do with the full moon in Aquarius? Well, full moon in Aquarius is ruled once again by Uranus. Okay? Uranus is under the rulership of Mercury because it's sitting in Gemini, and Gemini is the third placement, or the third house in the zodiacal wheel. And the third house deals with transportation, communication, vehicles, all kind of, method of transportation, right? Mercury itself, which is Mercury here, retrograde, and it's retrograde. Yeah, this is not Gemini, is not my third house, but Mercury retrograde rules Gemini, and Uranus is under the rulership of this Mercury retrograde, and that's what happened to me. I had a flat tire on the road. And I did freak out, to be perfectly honest, because I've never had this experience before, and I had to find towing truck and somebody to come and replace and switch the tire with the spare tire and all that cool stuff. Okay, and it happened to me in the evening in a place in a city that I'm new in, using a rental car. So it's a combination of things that literally affected me, okay, psychologically, you know, and it's something fated. I didn't have any hand in it. I didn't do anything. It happened all of a sudden. I wasn't prepared. It was unpredictable. So my point here is pay attention. And I mentioned that, and I'm going to say it again. The whole 7 years, when Uranus, the entire 7 years, when Uranus is in Gemini, you need to pay close attention to Mercury. Because so long as Uranus in Gemini, it's under the rulership of Mercury. So whether Mercury forward or retrograde, or where is Mercury? Okay? The placement, which house is Mercury in? You have to pay attention to that. Okay? Now, as I mentioned before, Uranus will go back and re-enter into, now I don't have the dates in front of me. I've given you these dates in my previous video, but Uranus is going to go back into Taurus, okay, in November. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in November. And then it stays in Taurus until next year when it moves permanently in Gemini, okay? Until 2032, and then it's going to go back and forth in Cancer, which is something I don't look forward to. I'm not going to lie to you. And yeah, and then it goes back into Gemini in a retrograde motion and stays there until sometime in 2033. I gave you the breakdown. I gave you the dates in my previous video. Yeah. So let's go back to the purpose of this video. So as I said, don't listen to those astrologers who are scaring you, spreading their dramatic, negative energy on YouTube just for the sake of views, because they're doing that in order for views. They scare you so you can watch. And because remember, astrology is all about preparation and being, forewarned is forearmed, right? But it's not in a terrible way, the way they explain it on YouTube. Like one of the titles, Break Free or Break Down what? Lion's Gate and the Deep Sacred Feminine. What's the correlation here? Like, seriously, this is just so funny title, okay? The worst week of the year, warning, and these people, they're astrologers, okay? And they would do whatever it takes to attract your attention, okay? To their videos and get more views. That's the whole purpose, okay? Yeah, the example I gave you about the flat tire I had, it's not, it's kind of like surprised me, right? It was unpredictable, but it's not terrible. It's not it doesn't make it the worst week of the, I've had actually, and I told you, I've had similar experience which involved Uranus and full moon, but it was in Taurus. Last year, I was literally entering into my underground parking, okay, when I was in Ontario, and there's this driver in front of me who's older woman, and she kept backing up. She doesn't even live in the building where I lived, and she kept reversing, backing up, and she didn't see me. It was in the winter. It was in November, okay, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in November, October. We had full moon. Okay, I remember it was full moon in Taurus, if I'm not mistaken, okay? But she kept reversing and she didn't see me. She hit my car. She hit the bumper of my car, okay? But my car didn't get any damage whatsoever, not even a scratch. Her car was scratched and damaged. I think she was, I can't remember what she was driving. I believe Corolla, Toyota Corolla, I don't know. But anyways, that's what happened. That was unpredictable, unexpected, because there's the factors of fate, full moon and Uranus. Something fated happened. Something was unpredictable, but I'm grateful to the universe, to God, to the higher power that I was protected. Okay, so nothing happened to me. Even with this incident when I had the flat tire, nothing happened to me. Okay, even though there was a car behind me, and when I had the flat tire, I was like, I didn't hear anything. It's just the car. All of a sudden, it felt that you can't drive as smoothly on the road, right? So I was trying to change turn right or, change my lane. And luckily, the driver behind me was very much aware, like he or she, I don't know, aware of what's happened, like noticed that all of a sudden I slowed down, right? So yeah, nothing happened to me. Nothing happened to the vehicle except that flat tire, all right? So, my point here is don't listen to this BS going on YouTube. Don't listen to these invalid predictions, lies, deception. And this is how I feel with this full moon, because it's in Aquarius, and Aquarius is about the people, okay? The people are sick and tired of the BS, of the drama, of everything going on in the mainstream media and social media, in court systems, in all aspects, all these like organizations and all this deception and manipulation, gaslighting, so on and so forth. So they're sick and tired. And why I'm saying that? Because Mars, as you see in the chart here, is in the sign of Libra. And Libra is the presentation of or representation of me and the other, the partner, okay? So once again, Libra and Aquarius, and so is Gemini, Gemini is a little bit the twin, right? Is about the twin, or me, myself, and my twin, but Libra and Aquarius are about the people, okay? Libra is about my immediate circle, okay, the people around me in my immediate environment, and Aquarius is about the people on a larger scale, okay, the community, the society, the country, okay, larger groups. So, and Mars here forming a trine, as you see in the chart, with Pluto, okay, so there is the sense of frustration, okay, the sense of upsetment, the sense of like, I'm tired, okay? And now the trine with Pluto, because remember, Pluto is retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. So, and Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. So Pluto here has like kind of double standard. What I mean by that, what I'm trying to say here is Pluto also about things, actions, or activities done behind the scenes in the underworld, hidden under the rug, we're not aware of. This could be criminal activities, this could be deception, this could be questionable deals, okay? Deals that concerns about, I do this for you and you do that for me. Even if we are enemies, I'm gonna do this to serve your interest and you'll do something to serve my interest. So kind of questionable deals, shady deals, if you know what I mean, okay? That's one of the sides of Pluto, because remember, Pluto is retrograde. Now Pluto, especially when it goes direct, it's going to expose all these deals, especially if it's unethical, okay? Unlawful, illegal activities. Activities deals with, like, for example, drug trafficking, sex, women, children trafficking, pedophiles, government, corrupt government, because remember, the same retrograde Pluto, okay, is sextiling Saturn in Aries. And Saturn, not only Saturn, Saturn and Neptune, and both of them are retrograde. So retrograde Saturn here is all about corruption in the government or in large organization, government organization, authoritative figures, higher, people in like of higher status, okay? CEOs, managers, and so on and so forth, about organizations in general. People who are in authority, people in charge, okay? And Neptune retrograde is about revealing all these secrets. Think the clarity. Because Neptune retrograde is the opposite of Neptune direct. Direct means deception, something hidden, but retrograde means there is clarity, okay? You can see clearly now, you can find out information, okay? So notice that all these planets, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto, are in retrograde motion. So there's deception. There are hidden activities that's illegal, okay? There's corruption, there's gaslighting, there's manipulation of the public, okay? And Mars opposing Saturn, okay? So once again, this is frustration of the public, of people. But Mars is in the sign that's ruled by Venus, Libra, right? And Venus is all about compromise, negotiation, peacekeeping, harmony, making deals, okay? Be in harmony with others. So Mars here is trying to seal a deal, and Mars actually in the sign of Libra is kind of passive. So instead of being aggressive, impulsive, go to war, fight, grab your sword or whatever, and fight with others, try to seal a deal. Because once again, Mars is under the rulership of Venus and also forming a trine with Pluto. So it's kind of exchange of interest. I'm gonna make a deal with you, even though I don't like you, I despise you, but I'm still gonna make a deal with you because you are going to serve me as well. So there is a mutual interest. And also Mars with Saturn, the opposition, this opposition that's happening between Mars in Libra and Saturn retrograde, and I've mentioned that in my previous video, there's kind of mutual perception here. Why I'm saying that? Because Saturn exalted in Libra and Mars is actually the ruler of Aries, where Saturn is sitting, right? Saturn is in Aries, ruled by Mars, so under the rulership of Mars. So there is collaboration, there's kind of exchange of exchange of interest, or exchange of kind of collaboration, okay? Or exchange of attributes, that's what I'm trying to say, traits, okay, qualities, okay? So I'm gonna make a deal with this corrupt government or whatever, okay? Even though I don't like them, I'm just gonna try to get to the bottom of things, do something to save the people, for the sake of the people, or for the sake of my partner, whatever, okay? I'm gonna try to compromise and negotiate a deal just to keep going, just to keep the peace. So if you hear anybody, and I did mention that even if there is a riot or a protest, it's not going to be like explosive one, okay? There could be a little bit of aggression, even though I don't really see that, but there could be activities or activities like in social media, because remember, Uranus also rules social media and is in Gemini, okay, which is technically social media. So we will see, for example, famous people do things, okay, because remember, Leo is involved here. It's a full moon and we have the sun in its rulership. The sun is under, the sun rules Leo. So we will see celebrities and famous people are well known, would do things that's unpredictable on social media, okay? To like provocative activities, let's put it that way, okay? I don't know, you know what celebrities might do, right? Like, I'm not gonna speak about certain celebrity right now, but just Google what Beyonce photos recently posted on Instagram or X or social media, or for example, J-Lo, okay? I'm just giving you example, okay? So we will see provocative photos, provocative activities, things along those lines, okay? And that's all because of the energy that's going on right now. Or deals, hidden agenda that's sealed, or there was a negotiation going on between high figures of higher status in the government with criminals, for example. And I'm not gonna give example. I'm just talking in general because there's stuff going on right now, okay? If you like politics, you're probably aware of what I'm talking about, but anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that, okay? But that's what the full moon is, okay? It's not the worst because we still have something really I don't like, and I spoke about it in my previous video, and I can show you the chart of that. Okay, just give me 1 second. So if you, once again, I mentioned this in my previous video, this is the transit chart of September the 3rd of this year. And what you see here, you see Uranus squares Mercury. Mercury just entered into Virgo. Mercury is direct now on September the 3rd, but Mercury rules Virgo, okay? And squares Uranus, exact. A degree and 27 minutes. Uranus is already under the rulership of Mercury because it's in Gemini, right? Forming this exact square. This is something that's we're not gonna like. Is it the worst thing of the year? Not really, okay? But I am predicting that there are things happening around this time, and once again, the energy applies the days before the exact square or the exact aspect. That's when the energy is applying. Means that's what the event that's gonna happen. Okay? I'm predicting accidents, I'm predicting crash, airplane crashes, things of this nature, maybe more earthquakes, I don't know, floods, something along those lines. Okay? Virgo is an earth sign and Gemini is an air sign. So also could be something really, and look at this. Mars, which is all about heat and fire, is forming a square with Jupiter, exact at 18 degrees, okay? And 18 degrees is a Virgo degree, okay? So I'm expecting also wildfire, yeah, maybe tsunami. Mother Nature is upset. Mother Nature is angry, okay? Something that's gonna upset. Now, this could be all manipulated by scientists because remember, not all these tsunamis and floods and earthquakes are natural. Could be manipulated, okay, by, once again, whoever in charge for some odd reason. Because I remember like a week ago or something, we've seen like hail and snow in Italy in the midst of the summer. But this also could be the effect of, global warming, because things are changing, right? Like I remember in Ontario 10-15 years ago, we've had like multiple snowstorms in the winter, and winter could be going all the way from May up till it starts as early as September. Literally, we've had snowstorms, but not anymore. Now, Toronto, especially the greater Toronto area, is extremely hot, okay? And we can barely have snowstorm in the winter, like maybe 2-3 times, okay? So, and that's all because of global warming. Okay, I don't want to dwell too much into this, but this is just my predictions. But yeah, with this square between Mercury and Uranus, I'm expecting accidents, crashes, airplane crashes, okay? Or like spaceship or like a satellite or something, incident that's gonna happen somewhere, okay? But especially on Earth, I'm expecting lots of accidents. So be careful, be very careful around this time. And once again, it doesn't have to be exactly on the same day. It could be even 4 or 5 days prior. But also Uranus and Uranus and Mercury square, that's when we've had the internet was invented long ago, okay? The World Web, the wide World Web, okay? So now we see the expansion use of AI, artificial intelligence, okay? In all aspects of life, the use of robots everywhere. So be aware of this exponential development and advancement in the tech sector, and the telecom sector, and the networking sector, all right? So that's pretty much what I want to talk about. I'm just going to go through my notes. So I'm going to touch base on what I've mentioned and wrap it up really quickly and give you bullet points, okay, so you can keep track of the energy. And I kid you not, guys, the energy of the full moon, it is a full moon, as I said, it's unpredicted, fated events that's going to happen. It's not going to be terrible, it's not going to be horrifying as some other astrologers are spreading rumors on social media. But you need to be prepared, especially until we have, or around this time when we have the square between Uranus and Mercury, which is going to happen at the beginning of September. As I said, September 3rd, that's when it's going to be exact, but you have to be prepared at least 10 days prior, okay? So the last 10 days of August, okay? So the Mars opposition to retrograde Neptune and Saturn is just a trigger to the ruling planet Mars, because Mars rules Aries, right? To take action in a more diplomatic way rather than fighting and causing chaos. Both Neptune and Saturn are retrograde. Okay? So there is tendency for diplomacy, peace, and compromise, especially when Venus is actually conjoined Jupiter. And there is a calling also to spread harmony and peace and negotiate, compromise, and work for the sake of the whole community or the people or the individual in your immediate circle. There is strong calling to Mars here to surrender to the divine and trust and believe in the higher power and the higher power justice. Because once again, this Neptune retrograde, it's like telling Mars, you don't need to fight. Just give up, surrender, and believe. Also, Mars, let me go back to the other. Mars trine with Pluto and Uranus. This is also an awakening, a spiritual awakening that we're all experiencing. And it's a calling for us to surrender and have faith. Because the divine intervention, which is represented by Uranus, I've been telling you that Uranus is the divine intervention. I mentioned that before, I just don't have the tarot card here in front of me, but Uranus represents the Fool, and Uranus and Mars both represent the Tower. In fact, even the Fool card in tarot cards is represented by Uranus. So you have to take a leap of faith, you have to believe, you have to trust in the divine intervention, and that's what's going to bring justice. All right? Remember that. And yes, there are lots of revelation, lots of things are being exposed everywhere, not only on social media, everywhere, even if at the workplace. If somebody did you wrong, trust that they're going to face their consequence. They're going to reap what they've sown, okay? So have faith and belief. There is nothing more invincible and more powerful than the higher power, okay, than God. There's nothing. And we will see justice. So just trust and believe, okay? All you need to do in your pursuit to justice is just to be honest and not to partake in any suspicious activities. Once again, because Pluto is going to expose all of this. Any suspicious, unethical, taboo, illegal activities. Be careful. Just to keep the harmony, keep the peace. Don't do that. Don't. Stay away from these activities. Be honest. Don't partake into any of these actions. Okay? Or deals. Or dealings. I'll give you an example. And I'm gonna speak about it when I go through each of the zodiac signs. If you secure a higher position in a company, for example, or in a government, because that's what Pluto is a representation of someone of higher status, someone wealthy, someone is a figure in the government, or a high figure in an organization. If you secure a position through something shady with this higher figure, rest assured that both of you are going to be exposed and you're going to be questioned. Okay? Especially if that involves competing with somebody who has better qualification than yours. Yet you took that position and that person was just set aside or rejected, even though they are more qualified than you. Like what we see now in the government. People like ministers and prime ministers and so on and so forth, they have zero qualification in the government sector that they rule, right? They have zero qualification. Yet they got that position through shady deals with other people who are in the government or wealthy people. They're going to be exposed and they're going to be questioned by the public, especially when Pluto goes direct. Remember that, okay? And remember, it's not this secret that's going to be exposed, okay? Or these revelations, not only when Pluto, because Pluto is all about transformation, is about things that's going to be anything that was built on shaky foundation, okay? It's going to die, it's going to be destroyed, it's going to be burned out for something new to be born. This is the energy of Pluto. It's a slow, but it's painful. Uranus is divine intervention, it's a quick, it's unpredictable. Mercury exposed all these activities because we will have Mercury, actually, as you see in the chart here, okay? You see that Mercury is actually forming an opposition, and Mercury's retrograde is in opposition to Pluto. Both of them are retrograde. Mercury is in Leo and Pluto is in Aquarius, two fixed signs. And by the way, if I didn't mention that, the full moon is in a fixed sign. So fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius are the most affected by this energy. Who else? Gemini and Virgo. Why is that? Because they are under the rulership of Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde. So these 6 signs, they are going to be affected or influenced the most, or affected in a profound way by the full moon and also by Mercury retrograde. And as I mentioned, Mercury is forming an opposition with Pluto. So there's something brewing under, we're not aware, not everybody. It could be even our feelings, our Because once again, Uranus is all about awakening, right? We're getting those vivid dreams, lucid dreams, okay? These visions of this kind of manipulation and gaslighting going on everywhere, whether in government or with government officials or, in certain areas of our lives, right? So we are awakened to the truth. We can see the truth for what it is, okay? We can find out who's actually deceiving us and who's telling the truth. So pay attention to that, okay? There's a lot going to be exposed on the media, social media, or through emails or texts or something that wasn't expected. We will become aware of it, okay? So, and not only that, I promise, this is the last thing. It's been an hour. After this, I'm gonna move into each of the zodiac signs. But the last thing I'm gonna talk about is the sun, okay? The sun is in the sign of Leo, where Mercury retrograde is, okay? So be careful, and I'm sorry if you are a Leo, sun and rising, be careful. Please don't spread rumors, don't lie, okay? Don't try to manipulate the public, okay? Because just so that you guys know, the astrologers, or who call himself astrologer, okay, who posted on YouTube the worst week of the year, okay, of 2025, is literally a Leo. And look, guys, we have Mercury being retrograde. Mercury has been in Leo for the last 2 months, it's been for a while, okay? So, Mercury in Leo and is retrograde. This is lies, deception, gaslighting, manipulation, okay, for the sake of fame, for the sake of views, as I said, okay? But as I said, things going to be exposed, all right? And because also the sun is in opposition to the moon, the sun is illuminating what was hidden, illuminating shady activities, okay? Because remember, Pluto also in Aquarius. So there's things that's been hidden, it's going to come to surface. We're going to become aware of it. There's a spotlight on it. And this is also indication of the higher awakening, or the awakening, okay? Being awakened. It could be even shocking. It could be jaw-dropping, okay? Things that we become aware of, it's going to be very, very surprising to us. It wasn't expected. I said this is going to be the last thing, but I'm looking at my notes, and yeah, Venus in Libra is all about, Librans are about people pleasing, because Libra wants to keep the peace, keeps the harmony with people in your immediate circle, as I said, like your partner. It doesn't have to be romantic, okay? But it could be even people in your family, in your immediate circle, okay? Because Libra is the 7th house, and the 7th house in the zodiacal wheel deals with partnership, all kind of partnership, including partnership with enemies. So Libra, under the rulership of Venus, and I'm not talking about Taurus, because Taurus doesn't care about others. Taurus care about me, myself, and I. Okay, that's what Taurus. I want what makes me happy. But Libra, I want peace with my partner, or my partners, or people in my immediate environment. Okay, so kind of people-pleasing tendency. But here, it's like, and I mentioned that before, Venus in Cancer is about, hey, take care of you, okay? It's not only about the other person, your partner, it's also about you. You need to pamper yourself, you need to take care of yourself, okay? Now, also watch out for envious people who are jealous of you, okay? Because once you start taking care of yourself and your appearance and pampering yourself, you see people's eyes on you. What about me? Because Mars is there, and Mars is also about me, myself, and I. So it's kind of like people, they're telling you, okay, is it only you? You want to take care of you? What about me? Hey, look at me. Don't forget about me. You're buying this for you? Don't forget to buy me something. So you're going to see people, okay, in your immediate environment are being very demanding around this time too. So watch out for this energy. Okay, guys, enough of this. Okay, I'm gonna start to talk about each of the zodiac signs. So let's get into the second aspect or the second segment of the video. Yes, all right, so this segment of the video is going to be related to Aquarius and Leo. Both of you are fixed signs, and the full moon is actually happening in your house, Aquarius, okay? And you are a fixed sign. You're the star of the show, technically, all right? But you have the sun in your opposite house, okay? In the 7th house, opposing you. Let's start with the positive things. First of all, you have Uranus. Uranus is in your 5th house, the house of joy. So there's something sudden, something unexpected that's going to happen in this house. It's either related to you personally, you could be getting into a relationship, or some creative endeavor, or it could be even winning a lottery. I don't care how much is the lottery ticket is, $50, $10, $1 million, $7 million, whatever. I do see if you playing the lottery, you're going to be winning something. There's some strike of luck. It's coming your way from this house. It could be, I don't know, elevating. It could play either way. I'm not going to lie to you. It could, but I see it positive. Yeah, I see it positive. It could be a pregnancy. Somebody come to you and tell you, I'm pregnant. You could be getting into a relationship, and this person comes to you and tell you, I'm pregnant. Is this going to bring joy to you? The 5th house is a house of joy. For some of you, yeah. For others, maybe not that much. It could be a relationship, because Uranus is trining, as you see in the chart here, is trining Pluto, and Pluto's retrograde in your house, all right? It could be a relationship that's hidden, okay? You're not. It could be a relationship with someone of higher power. You could be that person, all right? Or you could be doing something behind your, I don't know. But I feel this factor of something going to be abrupt, unpredictable, shocking, surprising to you, all right? I don't like the fact that Pluto is retrograde in your house, because this doesn't bring... There's something that's being, you are reflecting on, or something is being done under the rug, or buried under the rug. Maybe even you forgot about it, and now it's going to come to surface. Now remember, when Pluto goes direct, everything hidden is going to be exposed, it's going to be revealed. And that's why I said it's something maybe you totally forgot about it, and now somebody come to you and tell you, or shock you about it and tell you, hey, I'm pregnant, or hey, you won this lottery ticket, or a child of yours, because that's what the 5th house also deals with, children. Tells you, I'm in a relationship and I'm getting pregnant, or I don't know, I'm moving out from the home with my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Okay, it doesn't have to be only pregnancy. It could be dealing with children, right? A child of yours at a young age tells you, I'm moving out. I'm not going to live with you anymore. All right? Whatever it is, you know, I mean, the full moon is in your house. There's something ending, something finalized, something come to a culmination. With the sun opposing this full moon in your house, and Mercury retrograde in your opposite house, I feel or I see that there's some negative energy in the house of your partnership, okay? Or in the partnership sector, whether it's a business, whether it's your romantic, your spouse, your wife, your husband, or dealing with enemies. I do see a fight. I do see exchange of negative words, negative talk, toxic, something toxic going on, talking back and forth. Because Mercury retrograde, all right, it's communication, but it's a negative way. And the sun is opposing you, all right? So there is a challenge in that house. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you it's positive. No, it's not positive. It could be a fight over who owns what, all right? Could be even with the business partner. You're fighting over who owns this asset, all right? It could be for some of you, this whatever is going on, it's actually at court. You're dealing with your enemy. It could be once again a partner. I own this, and you're fighting, you're arguing, all right? And I see it because Mercury is at 4 degrees and the full moon is at 16 degrees, and these 2 degrees are Cancer degrees. So it's related to security, related to a home, related to a property you own, all right? Or where you live. So it could be fight over a property, over an asset related to your home. As I said, who owns this home, all right? I'm not gonna lie to you. You're trying to reach an agreement, but it's being delayed. There is exchange of accusations. There's toxic words being used, all right? I don't want to talk too much about it. It's not positive. It is not positive. Now, what makes it even worse? The conjunction of Jupiter, Venus, and the fixed star series is in your 6th house. The 6th house in astrology is associated with bad fortune. You want me to tell you, oh, it's all roses and flowers, and no, it's not, all right? The 6th house deals with providing service to others. So there's expansion. So you need, and you're guided to provide service to others. You have to serve others. The 6th house deals with literally servants. People provide service to people who are vulnerable, people who are in need. Nursing home, or nurses also. You know, helping disabled people. As I said, nursing home, retirement home, all right? Helping homeless, providing shelters, something along those lines. Providing service to others, being of service to others. And this is going to be expanded. So for some of you, you are called to do that. You are guided to do that. You have to do it. Whether you're, and it's going to be there's expansion in this, all right? So you gotta understand, Jupiter expands on everything it touches, all right? Maybe you're benefiting, maybe you have a non-for-profit organization or something like that, you're benefiting from it, but there is some sort of negativity dealing with this house, lots of issues, lots of problems, all right? I don't know. There's also, because of full moon in your house, you could be dealing with some health matter, health issue, because it's related to your identity, it's related to your physical body, all right? So you probably find out that there is a health matter now, it's coming to culmination, you're gonna get the results and it's going to be confirmed, whatever. One thing I wanna say, Aquarius, keep in mind that, and this is just an advice. If you're an Aquarius, and there is a reason why I'm talking about this, and you're doing tarot reading on YouTube, and you pretend you're a psychic, this message is actually for an Aquarius person who claims to be a psychic, and she's always projecting her illness and health issues on others. Be careful, it's gonna backfire and you're gonna pay the price, all right? Don't project your issues on others and bring your negative energy to others. This is just for a certain Aquarius. And you got 8 of Swords. You're gonna reap what you've sown. Once again, and for some reason I feel, if you are a mother, okay, and once again, you're projecting your negative energy on others, be careful. You live within your head. There's lots of negative energy around you, so you really need to clear your energy. You really do, Aquarius. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. You got sexuality. Sexuality. I don't know. I don't see something positive out of this. I don't. I'm sorry. You have Pluto retrograde in your house. I'm gonna leave it at that, Aquarius. Just be careful of your energy and what you're projecting on others, all right? Hello, Leo. All right, so I just did Aquarius. Maybe you should watch the Aquarius reading. It wasn't the best. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, all right? Both of you are fixed signs and both of you are opposite to one another, all right? The full moon is happening in your 7th house. Pluto is retrograde in your 7th house. Mars, as you see in the chart here, is actually in your 3rd house. So that tells me there's communication, quick communication, something that you've been waiting for, news, whatever, is coming to you really fast, all right? For others, could be that you're severing ties with siblings, with neighbors, with people that you don't want to be in touch with anymore, with cousins, okay? It could be also a negative communication, because that's what Mars energy is. Now, you do have Mercury retrograde in your house, and it's opposing Pluto in your 7th house. So, and the full moon is actually there. Okay, I'll talk about Uranus in a minute, but now Pluto retrograde in your house, opposing retro Pluto in your 7th house. This is like spreading, okay, Leo. It's either you, because Mercury is in your house, spreading rumors, lies on social media, or dealing with somebody of a person of higher status, of a figure in the government or whatever, to help you seal something, seal some sort of deal, do something related to your partnership or your partners. Could be personal partner, like a spouse, a wife, husband, or it could be even business partnership, okay? It could be even you're dealing with an enemy, exchange of interest, exchange of benefits, okay? So I'm gonna do this for you, you're gonna do this for me. It's something shady, something, you're trying to seal the deal, but it's being delayed at around this time because Mercury is retrograde. But I do see spread of rumors, of lies, of manipulation, some sort. Now listen, doesn't have to be whatever I mention here, doesn't have to be related to all Leos, okay? But I do see this is going on, all right, for some of you, or at least one message from what I've said, like, because each one of you have different timelines, so each one of you, there's something going to be related to you of what I've said, okay? It could be, once again, trying to seal a shady deal, okay? Trying to communicate with somebody of in authority, or someone of higher power, okay? Trying to hide something, but once Mercury goes direct and Pluto goes direct, this is going to be exposed. This is something going to come to a surface, okay? There is something, I see arguments, because it's a full moon in your 7th house. Like, it can't be any worse than that. I'm sorry, okay? If you're a fixed sign, and as I said, this full moon is happening in fixed sign, so you guys going to be mostly affected by this. I can tell you, oh, you're gonna get married, oh, you're gonna do a very great deal. I don't see that. It's a full moon, all right? Unless you are going through some sort of hardship and difficulties, then yeah, a full moon is kind of reversal, all right? Then that's, but as long as you're not dealing with something shady or manipulation, gaslighting, okay, fighting with others, then sure, by all means. But if you're dealing with these things and you're doing this because, once again, Mercury is retrograde in your house, all right, whatever the situation is, it's delayed right now. But Mercury is going direct on the 11th, so just a couple of days, all right? A couple of days and Mercury goes direct. And whatever deals, whether they are shady or good deals, is going to come to a finalization. It's going to be, there are going to be contracts, because the third house, usually where Mars is also about taking the lead and, negotiating, because Mars is in Libra and it's all about negotiating and keeping the peace and keeping and compromise, really, all right? So, but I also see that there's heated arguments. Maybe you're tired of waiting, all right? And, Leo is very passionate about what they're doing. So you're probably tired of waiting. You want to finalize something. You want to finish. Maybe you're trying to launch a website or a social media platform or whatever, and this is being delayed. So you're kind of frustrated, okay? You're expressing your frustration online, but be careful of spreading rumors, of lying, of manipulating the public in order to get views on social media. Be careful of that, Leo, okay? It's gonna backfire. People gonna come and haunt you back and tell you and shame you for what you've done. So be careful once again, especially when Mercury goes direct and when these things exposed, okay, and come to a surface, because you are ruled by the sun and the sun is shedding the light on whatever is happening now, all right? So there is something going to be eliminated. Something is going to come to the surface. Now, let me move on from this. You have the Jupiter, Venus, and the fixed star series in your 12th house, all right? So this tells me there's some sort of healing, some sort of dealing with your shadow side, or something that was painful for you, a wound, whatever, all right? Something related to your a past trauma you experienced, or a childhood trauma, childhood wound, whatever, rape, I don't know, abandonment, abuse, whatever, your situation, okay? For some of you, you're dealing with this. For others, you could be, I don't know, you could be working in a mental health facility, or in a hospital, or in a jail, or and this work is going to expand. This is going to bring some sort of abundance to you. Yeah, if you're working in one of these places, like hidden places, like hospital, or you're a health service provider, or you're a therapist, you're a psychologist, something along those lines, I feel like this is going to bring some sort of abundance and some sort of prosperity your way, all right? You're probably even a coach or a therapist, or you're doing this for the sake of helping others. You got the Four of Pentacles. You're being stubborn, and Leo is a fixed sign, so you're holding tight to your belief, you're holding tight on to your position, or you're not budging. Mars is in your third house, and that tells me that even Mars and under the rulership of Venus here, you're trying to seal the deal, but you're not budging. You're very fixated on what you want. You don't want to compromise. And you got the High Priestess. There could be somebody's helping you, or somebody's telling you that there is something. Honestly, you could be, you could be very secretive of these kind of deals you're trying to, or these contractual agreements, or you're not telling it to the public, you're not exposing this. And once again, I see you that you're not budging, you're persistent, you insist on your situation, in your position. You don't want to compromise, I don't know. Or even if it could be something related to, I don't know, agreements on a global level. I don't know if you are a high figure, a person of high figure, like in the government, all right? Things you're trying to seal some sort of deals. For some of them, I'm not gonna lie to you, Leo, I feel it's shady deals, because Mars negotiating with Pluto, or trying to seal deals under, or in the hidden, under the rug, behind the scenes. Something, as I said, is not, is secretive. And you got the High Priestess. Something is not acceptable, something shady. I can't sugarcoat it. Okay, you got letting go. Card number 26, which is reduced to number 8. Okay, letting go. You're letting go of something. Well, the full moon is in your 7th house, so you're letting go of some sort of partnership, business partnership. Could be letting go of enemy. Probably you're not able to reach the agreement, and you're letting go of it. You're not gonna change your mind. That's what I want. It's gonna go my way or the highway. That's the energy I feel of you, Leo. Okay, this situation has served its purpose. So now you're letting go of it. That's it. You're done with it. Full moon in Aquarius in your 7th house. You're done with the situation. Let go of it. I insist on my position. I'm not gonna budge. Okay. I'm done with this. All right. That's what I have for you, Leo. Best of luck.